We've hit recording. Is everything happening? Things are happening. Cool. My mic isn't the absolute best, so I'm definitely going to need to compress the shit out of this.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do.
That's fine. Let's see. Don't super have a way I plan to start this, but I'm Carney Pop here. Perhaps who I have here could...
Handles? I get...
It is I.
Real blockhead here. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, totally. Fucking talk.
It is I, co-pilot Koko.
Hey, it's Tim Avery, otherwise Tim Savory. Hello.
And we got together because we want to talk about our impressions of E3 now that it's the actual announcements are over. So we're just going to kind of be going mostly by the games because not as far as I know, none of us got super wrapped up in the culture of the actual, like, I didn't get to watch a bunch of the presentations myself.
I watched a couple of them.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything like that. I just rewatched all the trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, what I kind of had to like sit through was like half of Ubisoft, and I did Sony, but that was barely.
I watched Microsoft's and Bethesda's. And then Nintendo's, but I didn't watch Ubisoft or I didn't catch Sony's.
Square Enix also had one, I think.
Yeah, I think they did.
They showed like three games.
Yeah, I watched the Square Enix one, and I did watch the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But that comes at the end. Nintendo stuff comes at the end, I believe.
True.
Do we want to? I think we want to do this by conference probably, and just talk about each of the games. So we probably want to start at the shittiest part, and I believe we're gonna start with EA.
EA.
So
They got Unravel. Everybody's Yarny 2.
That does not.
It doesn't make up for everything else.
For
I know,
everything else.
I know.
I'll pull out the literal cabinet I have on the shit.
I love him, but I'm just so proud of him. He's
Yeah,
come
no,
so
it was
far, and he's
great.
like confident now.
But we can separate, the creator from the garbage heap of a publisher.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sensing that you have some opinions, Shem.
Yeah.
That you perhaps would like to
I
share in regards to EA.
I'm gonna channel a good chunk of the internet here on this one. So, Star Wars got rebooted back up and everything. Like, great, new movies are coming out, but great, more video games. I mean, everyone was kind of devastated when LucasArts kind of shut down because they were kind of the anchorhead and the foundation of all the past Star Wars games that were coming out in the mid 2000s. So then we heard EA got the spot for Star Wars games, and we're like, okay, obviously a Battlefront remake is gonna come out, and it did, and it missed the mark.
Sherm. Your hando.
Sorry. This is what it makes me do.
EA gives Shem nervous ticks, so ignore any tinkling.
They missed the mark.
scratching.
It was just multiplayer. It was just 4, 5, and 6, not putting in the full canon. And there was no single player, even though that all the other past Battlefronts had some sort of single player.
And that was for many people with the Battlefronts. That was the point. You know what I mean? And even when you played multiplayer, I don't know about you, but I didn't care about individual matches in Battlefront. I cared about getting someone who felt like playing for 2 or 3 hours and booting up Galactic Conquest mode and starting to fucking play that slow-ass turn-based game with matches as the turns.
I mean, what we got with the new Battlefront was just a reskin of Battlefield. I mean, that's what it was. The developer was the same too, so that they
rolled the dice with that one.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. It was a good bad get there.
Why did they make the characters you want to play as so hard to get in the beginning?
Because money, Nico.
Because that's so insane. Like,
money.
It's not the same game
yes,
at all. It's
it
like
is
a different type
insane.
of game.
It is insane, and this is the timeline that we're in right now, where literally other countries have to ban Battlefront because it's online gambling.
Oh, well, yeah.
Honestly, I'm so fucking glad that happened. Like, seeing it's just like, hey, toxic game practices. Like, government finally has fucking attention for games again. And it's like, hey, you're gonna be tried for fucking, like, making gambling and shit. And, like...
It's good to see... It's good to see those things attacked instead of random witch hunts for violence in video games, etc. and censorship stuff.
True.
Like, it's much better to see it go after loot box style stuff, because in the end, I feel like we'd much rather pay for a game and get a game.
Yeah, but you also have to realize, like, their target audience is definitely aiming for that, like, 12 to, like, 16, 17-year-old range, because they're just so... outside of school and anything else, like, the game is life, so they're, of course, going to pour all this time and money into it, while people above, like, the age of 18 will say, I'm not going to do that because that's stupid, and I don't want to spend my cold hard money.
You've missed the other demographic. They want 12 and 13-year-olds, and they also want 30 and above who have a little bit more money and can pay for the time they would have spent to unlock the stuff with the money. But if you are in between and don't have that much money lying around, you're in a shitty situation. But we've just been talking about something that already happened, so I'd like to bring us back to the present with EA.
Yeah, let me get to the end for EA. So we went through them announcing Battlefront, that came out, then Battlefront 2, where they were trying to make up for lost ground. In the course of 2015, so that's when Star Wars was getting rebooted. 2015 is when we found out, so we're going to get a batch of new games. So in the past 3 years, we have gotten 2 games of the same series, of the same game type, and that's it. And the only thing we got was a whisper of saying, the creative director of Respawn saying, hey, we're working on a single-player Star Wars game. We have nothing to show you, but we're working on it. So we have that to, I guess, look forward to till EA decides to pull the plug, because this is not going to make us enough money with loot boxes. So that's where I'm at with EA.
Good God. So what did they announce?
It's a single-player. They said it's a single-player Star Wars game called...
that was their only announcement for this
Star Wars Fallen Order.
They had some other things, but in terms of Star Wars, that's what they had, and it wasn't like
no footage.
Right, it wasn't even like the barely announcement of Metroid Prime 4 to say it existed. At least
it didn't even show art.
Right, at least Nintendo when they announced Metroid Prime 4 at least had the
a logo,
the decency to show a logo, which implies something about the game. This was literally footage of the guy's face, like the guy just told everybody, we're making a single-player Star Wars game.
And they showed 10 seconds of motion capture.
Yeah. The thing that that stuck out about that with me was just like how he was like, and you can play as a Jedi in it. And people are like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you should be able to. So you're telling me my sim can't file class action lawsuits yet? Is what you're telling me.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Nothing? Okay, well, fine.
And besides that with EA, I mean, besides Unravel.
Unravel 2 was... there was the song of... or the Sea of something...
Sea of Solitude.
Sea of Solitude.
EA has the ability to throw money at people. Sea of Solitude looked really cool. It looks like an experimental kind of more metaphorical than literal, like psychological, beautiful looking game.
That and Unravel 2 looked really cute. I don't know. I liked the whole like, hey, you have 2 Yarnies now, and if you're like single player, like you can switch between them and stuff like that. And I was like, cool. I like puzzle solving. Like that's fun to me. I'm down with that. But like, I also knew that I know that Unravel 1 didn't like get good it got like it's just okay, and the whole thing about that guy being like a cinnamon bun of a fucking human like is what kind of elevated that game into everyone knowing about it. But like when it came out, it was actually just kind of meh. but because EA was like, oh hey, people like the fact that we have like we're working with this like very emotional person, with this human
person with emotions and a beating heart
and a brain
to put face on our corpless company.
All are corpless.
I don't know.
Corpless. Yep.
Might not be corpless. But yeah, EA didn't really have much beyond that, and besides like some sports games and stuff, which like to the people that play the sports games, they say that there's like enough of a difference, but like I can't. That's not my shit.
But at the same, we can't talk about the differences in them because we'll also talk about the difference between the Street Fighters, right?
So like on the record, the best football game was and will ever be NFL Blitz.
Yes.
Yeah, for the N64.
Thank you much.
I'm down with a good NHL 2002 or triple play
baseball. What about the
baseball.
iShield 21 PS1 game? I'm sure that exists.
That honestly,
the best basketball game is Looney Tunes basketball for the Super Nintendo.
Jesus.
I hate.
Alright.
Oh my god.
One of the abilities you had was to turn the basketball into a wiener dog for an amount of time, and it would run away from people and then return back to being a basketball. It was great.
Wow.
Are you sure this isn't Lethal League? Like,
oh my god.
No, it's Looney Tunes basketball for the Super Nintendo. Did you not hear me?
Super Smash Brothers Melee
so
for the Nintendo GameCube.
EA definitely kind of sucked, and the main thing about it is that they want to make every game like FIFA because they release a new FIFA game every year and it makes them a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the correlation is just like it's the most popular sport in the world, so of course the game connected to it.
Oh yeah, they showed Anthem, and
Anthem disappointed a lot of people on the face of it not having a lot of the stuff that people come to BioWare for.
Which is like love interests and
driven.
What does BioWare make?
Mass Effect.
They made Sonic, the Dark Chronicles for the DS.
Yeah, that was quite. That
there
was
you
quite
go.
That video game is the only game I know them for. That is their.
Did they make Dragon Age?
They make Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
They make things where you talk, where you do your hero business and you talk to people and you fuck. And Anthem.
I won't fuck.
Anthem has no fucking.
Yeah.
Anthem's got no relationships.
Why?
It's a co-op, like dungeon delver thing,
kind of thing,
like salvager thing.
I would say it would be similar to probably like Monster Hunter, except with mechs.
As a Fire Emblem fan, I relate to this. I relate to this problem. Just removing character development and removing things. But moving on.
So, all right.
That was EA.
Yeah, we're gonna move on definitely from EA.
What was next? Microsoft.
Microsoft. Microsoft did fairly well this year overall, I thought.
I actually really liked their whole thing. Their whole press conference was like genuinely like there was a couple fucking big stinkers, fucking Gears of War pop shit like that. Obviously, like that. I don't give a fucking shit. But like the Halo trailer was like decent. It seemed they were trying to go for like the Halo 3, like that series of commercials where they were like they had like the diorama thing.
I guess kind of, but no, the like it literally was like a real made diorama.
Yeah,
that's what was the crazy bit.
I mean, yeah, that commercial's like
this.
Great.
The thing about the Halo trailer that was weird is that I didn't know what I was looking at until like I saw
the helmet.
Yeah. And I know that people who care about Halo could have gotten that a little earlier than I did because they eventually end up in like a level, like a place with the iconography.
Yeah.
But when it's just like, here are these two horned rhinoceri in this like beautiful plane, I was like, where? Some sci-fi game.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I fell off after Reach, and then after that, I think I just grew out of it because, at least for me, Halo was such a integral part of when I was gaming, like my mid-teens. And a lot of times I played it with friends.
Same.
Yeah.
So the moment I stopped really playing with that group of friends or that community, I just kind of moved on. And I've now changed as a person, and I think that reflects with really... I mean, there's some people that are diehard Halo fans that have been there since the beginning and will continuously just keep going to probably try to see, will this be the game I finally see Master Chief's face? And you know what? It probably won't.
No, it will never be.
That's a big point of it. I do have to say, though, the thing with the Halo trailer is... that's something where I can go, not for me. Exciting for someone, not for me.
Yeah.
felt similar about Gears 5?
Yeah, Gears 5 is just, I don't know. I liked Gears of War 1 and 2. I don't have any of the Microsoft... Like I have like Windows computer, and now they're starting to do that. Like, games for Xbox One will be like also on PC and stuff like that. So it's like kind of a crossplay thing. But like I like Gears of War 1 and 2 a lot. Again, I played that like during like mid-teens and stuff. Like as with most Xbox 360 shit, like that was like it was like decent, and like they're fun cover shooter games, and like they're very interesting, especially how like that was before cover became like a thing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That was literally like the first on the scene of like cover-based system.
It also was added
Time Crisis.
No, actually,
well, I mean, not in the arcade.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, actually, the guy who made Cliffy B, he made a game like previous to that. That was like in like 2005, and that was technically the first one to do cover mechanics like that. And then he just kind of like refined it in Gears of War.
Yeah. Though no one ends up caring where it came from initially. Yeah. People care about the first time it made a splash.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Something with Gears of War that I just realized too is that was at a really peculiar intersection of time where like hyper-violence was in vogue, right? As in like there weren't enough people doing it, and so the like chainsaw on the end of the gun type of crazy bullshit.
Still fucking sick.
But it was also at the time when people weren't burnt out on gritty, and just as like that was being the thing.
I mean, honestly, I will say this: Gears of War, the first commercial for it, edged the game because you got the use of Mad World, not the Tears for Fear cover,
but the like piano one.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the artist name, but first time I saw that, of course, like 2007. I
think it was like 2006 or
so. Like mist of middle school, so you're already feeling all this, and you're just like, he gets me. Yes, this gets me.
This weird brick slab of a human also gets me.
Right.
Yeah. So again, with the Gears thing, it's just kind of Gears to me. They're like taking this with an interesting direction of like, oh, there's this character. They might have something to do with the Locusts, and they're the main character trying to figure out their past, and it's female, so that's a thing within Gears and that type of hyper-violent, hyper-masculine deal that it does.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see them try, because I get very like, as the more time goes on, the more I wonder about them being able to just realistically make a new Gears game. It starts to feel like Duke Nukem, right? Not because of development hell, but in terms of like, Duke Nukem can't change because then it's not Duke Nukem.
Right.
But Duke Nukem is like inherently from the 90s, and therefore when the Duke Nukem finally came out, it was a very strange juxtaposition to just see Duke Nukem made in the current day and see it.
See you're wrong. Blow it out your ass.
Anyway, no, yeah, I agree with that sentiment, because what is Gears 5 now? This is going to be the 5th one?
Yeah.
I feel like when you're getting up to those number of digits in a series, like, you have to either have like such a overarching story to tell, or constantly changing or bringing in new mechanics, but keeping what everyone loves about the series already. So I don't really feel if they're going to bring that much new to Gears 5. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm probably not going to buy the game myself.
Same, but I'll see. I feel like people will tell us when God of War turned out to be a refreshing, interesting take on the series.
I'm excited. I get to play some more this week.
Nice.
I think Gears of War will eventually come back into vogue. We'll just need like another huge like war to like make gritty come back. You know?
Oh my god.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, we're getting to like, this is some serious shit that we gotta fix. But then like, once it starts like becoming extremely violent, then we're gonna need some release from that, and then Gears of War's gonna be sick again.
Well, speaking of 5,
we
have another 5.
What?
That comes next in the Microsoft one, which is Devil May Cry 5.
Oh,
yeah.
That was
that's
so sick.
Yeah, that's
Nero's looking fresh.
He used
He's
the
looking...
sword to rev the engine. What was?
Well, yeah, that's like a thing with the sword.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think that the presence of this game is I know I'm gonna go. I know of Devil May Cry. I know of as with many things, I know about 5 things about it, and this will make me probably go back and play those games, just knowing, because like when there was nothing on the horizon, right? It always felt like, well, I can play Devil May Cry whenever I want because the franchise is dead and there will never be more of it. So I can just go and absorb that time capsule whenever I feel like it. But now there's a new game.
Yeah.
You know? And as far as I know, Dante at the end of Devil May Cry 2, which is the furthest in the timeline, I think. Maybe?
It's... Honestly, it doesn't matter. That's...
Basically...
Just skip 2.
Basically, at the end of Devil May Cry 2, he's riding the same bike that he is at the end of the Devil May Cry 5 trailer. So in Devil May Cry 2, I think he gets stuck in hell for a while.
Well, actually, fun fact, because the origin of the whole featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, so there's like a thing where like he is because he's a guest star in SMT Nocturne for the PS2, and he apparently, and because that I think that takes place in hell. I don't know. Lots of people tell me it's really good. I need to play an SMT game, but it's like then he's riding out of hell.
I feel like that's such an endeavor. I feel like anyone deciding to play an SMT game it's like such an endeavor to decide which one to play, to decide after that which one to spend more time on to continue going towards.
You just have to have a D20.
Yeah. But yeah, DMC5 looks great. Character action games. Yeah, here we go.
Hot shot.
I love the I love the ridiculous tech, like the woman with the van that makes him a robot arm.
She's so great.
She is hilarious. I thought that was. I think it's also interesting that it has a more realistic, less anime inspired flair than the other Devil May Cry games, but it still comes down to the fundamental thing of like stylish combat. Like it didn't seem like it lost any of that flavor. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can do that with Devil May Cry though. Like you can't really take any of that chutzpah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, just imagine if this was like a gritty reboot that took itself seriously, as opposed to the trappings of grittiness that make the ridiculousness funnier. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they look a little more realistic in terms of how they go means that the woman talking to the fucking corpse about making the arm for the guy to kill demons is hilarious.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just think it's like they're doing a good job because they're using that RE7 engine, which is why everything looks so fucking detailed and nice.
Oh.
Yeah, so Capcom's been slowly whittling their way back into my heart.
They've made some real bad decisions.
They fell in the toilet bowl for a little bit, but
and then they were on the way back, and then Marvel Infinite was really bad in terms of presentation.
It still plays good.
It does have. You don't have to tell me twice, Tim.
It plays so good.
If they released an update that just put in the Marvel 3 shaders, everyone would play the game. I'm not like.
I just want to play as Gambit.
Kinetic card.
I miss him.
One of the Scythe user that isn't Ruby in cross tag battle, has a costume that makes him look like Gambit. Like it's like.
Oh yeah.
The trench coat with the purple inside.
Yeah.
He's a trench coat wearing Scythe guy.
Fucking.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Maximilian Dude, who literally was about to turn off his stream while playing that game, and then someone in his chat went, "The guy has a Gambit costume," and he literally went, put it on, and went, "Oh, this is really cool," and he played it for 6 more hours that night.
Jesus Christ.
And has now played like a shit ton. Literally was about to go like, this one's not for me, but. The smallest thing will get that man, like the right costume will get that man to play a game forever.
Yeah.
All right. Cuphead DLC.
Announced.
Looks good.
It exists.
Miss Chalice.
Miss Chalice, the new playable character.
New playable character.
I think it is really funny that if you'll notice, the thing that Miss Chalice does at the end of that trailer
like the
is
double
she
jump?
walks and she double jumps.
Yeah.
Just specifically to rip into the game journalist who couldn't get past the tutorial, I think. I think that's why they threw it in.
I think it was just like a showcase of her ability, but
I think it is, but I
if
think
we're reading into it, then
I'm just saying.
But
I have a very,
so
very tiny tinfoil hat on this one. I just think that they were like, I think it highlights the absurdity of that just a little bit.
Couldn't get past it.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't see how they can do anything wrong with this DLC. It's probably going to be great.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished the main game. That'll happen eventually.
Takes some time, but it's good. It's a good game. That was one of my favorite games from last year. So I have faith. I never really think based on how good of an impression Cuphead made on me, like, I don't think I ever have to worry about the quality. It's like the same thing how I feel about Yacht Club, is that, like, I was like, this first game is amazing. Fucking awesome. Second one, okay, let's see. Does it play good? Oh, it's great too. Okay, then never mind. Then they have their shit together. Mm-hmm. Like, they have a pattern of 2 good games. Yacht Club now having 3. Like, Studio MDHR can totally be that.
And, like, when this is a literal dream project, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's such a small chance that they fuck it up at this point because they made the main game take exactly as long as it needed. Mm-hmm. And you know why this DLC is probably able to be made, like, super fast? It's probably there's 3 islands. 3 islands?
Yeah, there's 3 islands.
3 islands.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be the length of the 3rd island, because they just say a new island, so it'll probably be equally as long as the 3rd island.
Yeah.
So there's less to make. And they probably have more people working there, honestly.
Well, yeah, because they sold, they went double platinum with it, so they sold over 2 million copies, which, like, I think that game's like $25, maybe $30 or something like that. It was either $20 to $30, but, like, they definitely made enough money to be like most indie games, like, you're projected, like if shit's good, like, your projected sales is gonna be like $10,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
Most games don't make even that much. It, like, as like starting studios, like, this is like a brand new studio with no sort of, like, past background besides the cool shit they had put in their trailers. Mm-hmm. So they're good. I'm honestly, with Cuphead, I was just like, it's Cuphead, it's good, we're good.
Let's talk about one of the better, even though we don't have any actual footage from it, but very strange announcements of Microsoft. A new Battletoads game.
They got Battletoads?
It's going to be hand-drawn.
I understand that Battletoads is, like, 100% style and, like, is, like, as a game, especially in the way it's designed, like, stupidly difficult and, like, and shit like that.
I mean, it's just for the speeder bike level. That's the most infamous.
Did you know that half of Battletoads is a regular platformer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Most people don't. I didn't know until I saw a speedrun. You know why? Because I've never beaten the speeder bike level.
Yeah.
Right.
I've beaten Castlevania 3. I've never beaten the speeder bike level of Battletoads.
I want to try and do it.
I saw a video of these a couple of guys going through Battletoads, and they get to the speeder bike level and they beat it. But one of them, out of pure, like, enjoyment, pride, and fear, kicked the console and it freezes.
Oh my god.
But it's like, we got the footage, we did it.
Here's the thing about Battletoads I just want to say. I played a bit of the original Battletoads, but the way I knew Battletoads is that at my uncle's house, on the same SNES that I would play Looney Tunes basketball during family functions, I would also sometimes play with my brother and my cousin Battletoads cross Double Dragon.
Yeah, Double Dragon versus Battletoads.
Which was sick.
Double Dragon is honestly, like, one of my... It's like a little charm that I have of, like, just, this is a good series, except for, like, a couple of games.
But the thing about it is that plays like a Double Dragon game.
Yeah,
it has the difficulty of a regular game, But the thing about Battletoads is, despite the fact that there are 3 toads that look almost not different at all, there are 3 buff toads that transform. And that's pretty awesome.
3 bad dudes.
And I just can't believe that a meme is going to be made into a real, probably good game.
I gotta call it my local GameStop.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. GameStop is going to go under just out of the fear that people are going to call in asking for Battletoads.
I should honestly, like, I've seen people almost get kicked out of GameStop before for like saying that to like one of the managers' faces, which was first of all fucking hilarious. Because I was just like, why the fuck would you like don't poke a horse's back leg and expect like funny
do it from behind the phone.
Yeah.
Or be ready to be kicked out of the GameStop.
Yeah, it was just like really, it was so stupid. But yeah, Battletoads is like one of those things that I think a modern reinterpretation would be a very good thing. It's like how like I played the Rayman Game Boy game, and I think I played a little bit of like 3, but like honestly, like Rayman really benefited from like taking a little hiatus as a icon, and then like coming back with like the UbiArt engine and like, hey, here's Rayman Origins, and it's super cool, and like we've worked on things to make it kind of like fit stylistically, and like Battletoads with like a hand-drawn art style like the one it was showing looks like it'll be like scrappy, kind of like gross looking, but still kind of bright and colorful, which is good. So I'm excited about that, just as a game that exists.
Right. Oh no, yeah. I feel like it's definitely going to has a strong audience already, just because of how many people can reminisce about that Spirit Backlog.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Anything else like burning to be talked about from
Ori and the Blind Forest 2.
Ori and the Blind Forest 2, Willow, yes.
Yep. I have nothing else to say besides it's good.
Oh my god, it looks so good. There's sequences where the little owl that's the egg from the end of the first one is like flying Ori through sections, and then you jump off, like you jump from the owl's talons and stuff. It looks great. Ori and the Blind Forest I played that game in a day because I was feeling depressed and needed a really good game in my life.
And that's a good game.
And man, is that a good game. Talk about a Metroidvania that has more precision platforming sections, but has a built-in save state system that uses a resource within the game.
Like, cool. Super
cool. It's like, oh, look at those spikes. I know those are instant death spikes. Let me set up my checkpoint right here.
Yeah.
So interesting, it didn't show him using bash, and I think it's because they don't want to. They understand that the bash mechanic is great.
That bash is the thing that makes Ori and the Blind Forest feel like, yeah, and once you get like the utility tree working later on, like jumping and running feels like even better because you have like cool like little like Mario like 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah.
But like bash in that game.
Tim was referring to a triple jump.
Yeah. I don't.
1, 2, 3s.
Listen.
I understood it. I just wanted to make sure that any listeners out in podcast land were following the.
Yeah.
What's the equation for half drums, Tim? Can you spit it out real quick?
Half an A press.
Half an A press?
Oh God!
All right.
No,
we're going to that?
No, we're not talking about parallel universes in Mario 64.
All right.
Listen, if
you watch any of the 0A presses videos if you want to see exactly how crazy games are.
If you spend 120 hours running at this wall, you'll have enough momentum to launch yourself to the end. There's shit in that. I don't know. But anyways, Ori's cool. Yeah. I like Ori. I'm gonna play that when it comes out. And Ori and the Blind Forest is just a cool little thing.
I've loved the resurgence in Metroidvania games, and I really think that I've played a lot of Metroidvania style games. I love many of them. They're my favorite genre.
I have a couple.
Ori and the Blind Forest definitely stands out as one of the titans in recent memory of the genre.
I would put that with like I know you haven't played it but Hollow Knight. I'd put it with that. I'd put it I don't know if I would put it. No, God no. I was thinking about Zeo Drifter. God no. That game is like meh at best. But yeah, that Ori and the Blind Forest is a good Metroidvania, and like even though like things are starting to kind of like people are starting to be like, okay, there's a lot of these. It's like, yeah, that one's just a good game, so I'm down with it.
Yeah. And I also think that it's okay for the market to be a little flooded with them, considering the genre died for a couple of years.
Yeah, valid.
Like it's
like fighting games. Like
feast or famine with them. So, anything else from Microsoft?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What do we have? I didn't tune super much into Bethesda. Does anybody have like specific stuff they want to say about it?
I have a lot to say. I have never really been a fan of Bethesda games. If you ask me what my favorite Bethesda games are, they are Wolfenstein and Doom, because I'm not that big of a person when it comes to Western style role playing games, especially like Elder Scrolls. Like Elder Scrolls, I played it once for 20 minutes and I shot icicles into some guy's dick. That's about as much as that's about as much as I can kind of gain from that. I do understand a lot of stuff about it, and it is a very cool game. I just like have never I can't when I am not given any sort of like direction, it is very difficult for me to get into a game, and like that's just one of those. And same with Fallout. But Fallout 76 actually looks really good. I kind of want to I'm thinking about making this like the first, and I know like a lot of people will be like, oh, play New Vegas, because that's apparently that's the best one.
Everyone says play New Vegas.
Yeah, that's the best one.
New Vegas. I spent most of my time in that series with Fallout 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, 76, I mean, I already had an inkling that they were going to go an MMO route.
Yeah.
So that didn't really surprise me once, but the whole, like, you know, if you collect enough codes, you can nuke whoever you want. And I know that, like, Tim, you and me kind of talked about this briefly.
I think that's fucking hilarious. I get it's tonally deaf. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because of the main moral themes of, like, the whole series about, like, you know, nukes is what caused the situation.
Yeah, Fallout. Literally, nuclear Fallout.
So that they're introducing a system of like, yeah, you can use nukes and you can get interesting rewards and prizes, and you're just like,
I just think it's fucking funny. It's so stupid.
Here's what I have to say about Fallout 76. The trailer used the song Country Roads.
Hell yeah.
And that means that they were attacking me directly. They were like, hello, Carney Pop. Would you like to play this game, even though you literally get analysis paralysis at big open world games mostly, and you've never touched a Fallout in your life and don't have much interest in one?
West Virginia.
And I'm like, well, did you get me? I want to be able to say no, but I can't yet.
Yeah. So I thought that was good, and I think they're doing a good job on that. They had the Elder Scrolls mobile game, what the fuck ever, and they're like, oh hey, Skyrim. They had that Skyrim skit, which was funny. Todd said fuck.
Todd Howard.
He also was like, hey, what are y'all ready for? And then one guy's like, you, Todd. Or like he's like, Todd Howard. And he's like, oh, thanks. I thought that was cute. But standout for... So two standouts, actually. Because, as I mentioned before, I really like Doom and Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein Youngblood takes place in the 80s. And it is about B.J. Blazkowicz's twin daughters. And it is a co-op adventure. Wait
a second. Twin daughters in the 80s killing Nazis? Is this the game?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the game. Yeah.
All right.
No, it had me there, too.
Wolfenstein is it's
a great American game.
It is a great American game. The new one, especially, like the first of the reboots, really good. I really like that game. But the thing that I really loved and was super psyched for was Doom Eternal, because I think Doom 2016 is probably one of the best first-person shooters. Like, as a example of the genre, I think that game is astronomical in like how tonally it gets itself, and how like aggressive, like really, really like fast and brutal. Like everything about that game is like just like fun turn to 11 because like they'll have like story sequences and Doom Guy's just like, I'm mad because like people will be speaking story at him and he'll just like smash a computer that's like telling him lore or like telling him like what's going on, and like he's just fucking mad, and that's his only, like he gets like fucking power-ups and stuff instead of like I don't know, like maybe some sort of siphon or something like that. He just crushes it in his hand because he's fucking mad, and I love it. It's so stupid, and Doom Eternal's gonna be great. I hope. But I honestly I
mean, Doom never takes itself seriously, which is why it's so good.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing, is that like when you start taking yourself seriously, then you have to have like the whole like, okay, well, like what are we going for as a story? Like we have to, like, in order to sell our message of like themes and stuff in the writing. But like when you're like Doom, you can just be stupid. And there is like there is lore to it. Like I have like the art book and stuff, and there's like a bunch of lore that like about like the whole facilities and like them using like the and like the whole concept of the Doom Slayer.
Right. Isn't the big thing in Doom is that they use energy from hell?
Yes.
Like as the main. Yeah. Doom looks.
Argent energy.
Doom looks
sick.
Yeah, Doom looks good to me. So I want to play the first one, then get to that one. Mostly because I think, like, twofold. One, I love being able to take silly things very seriously, so I'll probably enjoy getting to see all of the lore that Doom Guy himself doesn't give a shit about. I think that'll be a really fun experience for me.
Yeah.
And two, I usually hate the flow of the campaign in first-person shooter games because there's a lot of, like, I'm here, and I need to pick my spots. And unless they're, like, really interesting, that loses its flair for me after the first, like, 3 or 4 levels. But if I can just blow shit down...
Doom is literally a game about moving forward, and if you aren't moving, you're not playing the game correctly, which is very true to the spirit of the original. So
that's true.
I high regards, but yeah, that's kind of all from Bethesda. Square Enix.
Well, we have PS.
Well, I mean, they also announced Elder Scrolls 6.
Right, Elder Scrolls 6. Which we didn't get any real...
They didn't even give it, like, a subtitle, so it's, like, that's clearly a game that's coming out in, like, 2020, probably.
Probably. Yeah. No, that's honestly, that's a good bet.
That definitely read as 4 years from now in my head, but it definitely is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big old 2 on that one.
Temporal dissonance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the, with Bethesda, we've got Sony, Square Enix, and
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft didn't really.
Let's do the dovetail of Ubisoft a bit because I didn't see shit from that one.
I saw a couple things. They didn't talk about No More Heroes, so I don't care. But they didn't talk about Rayman, so also I don't care.
They did have a like live kind of orchestrated piece for the DLC for Mario and Raven Rabbids, but now it's DK.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was cool, and like I know that I think people are like enjoying them kind of doing an XCOM thing with
yeah.
I really need to play it because I hear good things.
But I was kind of just over, like I'm glad that it was just a DLC and not a full other game. I'm like, that's kind of pushing it.
Also, I just wish that game wasn't. Even though there are some fire lines in that one opera singing boss, that's pretty cool. I just hate the Rabbids. Like, they're minions. They're minions. They're minions. I hate minions. I hate Rabbids. An XCOM game that was just Mario characters, I would actually be more about. Like a tactics game where you play as the Mario characters and they bring in all the random bullshit that's in the Mario universe. You know what I mean? Yep. Like Super Mario RPG, random crap, and all of the different levels of Goombas and Koopas. All of that would be, like, super cool. Have a campaign mode where you play as Bowser and his minions. Have a campaign mode where you play as Mario. Have one where you play as Luigi. It would be great.
I don't know why. It feels like Super Mario RPG has been the only RPG, turn-based wise, that has the whole rhythm, like time-sensitive button input.
Well, Paper Mario is
Paper Mario.
Oh, Paper Mario. Well, okay, but that's still, again, like, It's only been that franchise. Like,
yes.
I feel like no other turn-based RPGs.
It's that. So it's honestly, it's kind of like all of the Mario RPGs do that.
Yeah, but that's what Shem was saying is that it is mostly relegated to. There's small elements of that in Tokyo RPG Factory's I Am Setsuna. You build up points and you can press at the right time to do something more. So that's neat. And the Steven Universe RPGs are basically Paper Mario style.
Yeah.
And have that. But they're clearly influenced by things. So it's definitely a thing that takes turn-based RPGs and makes them that one extra step of dynamic. If you're not, like, don't get me wrong, you give me the right JRPG system and I've got a hard-on for menuing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm ready to do all of that. However, if your battle system is not completely impeccable and like makes me an addict of optimizing it, then it helps to have a couple extra buttons to press while I'm doing your combat. Not too many though, because that BioWare fucking Sonic RPG we were talking about earlier, combat took way too fucking long, and you had to play a goddamn minigame every time you did an attack if you wanted to get the fucking full damage out of it. One that involved usually tracing a line and then hitting a bunch of dots on the touchscreen, and I played that thing on a busted-ass DS that couldn't recalibrate its bottom screen fully, so guess who couldn't get past the fourth like major area of that because I couldn't do enough damage to survive basic encounters. Basic encounters. This is an RPG. I'm supposed to hit X 3 times, or in this case A, 3 times, and the combat's supposed to be over when I'm on grinding enemies.
Land on your left foot.
You're also supposed to have a
it.
working DS.
Yeah.
Valid. But even if I knew how to do it, it would still take me 7 minutes to fight through a single
That's a lot.
encounter.
Yeah, that's a lot. Also, that game has legendary composition. Look up the town music.
Ubisoft also announced another Trials game because, hey,
hell yeah,
that's a series. Really?
Trials?
Yep. Trial. I think Trials is just a so I like sports games only when they're arcadey for the most part.
Right.
And Trials is like a motocross game, but just arcadey and it's stupid and it's just platforming. But I really like it. So I'm down.
Okay. It's just like the first time I ever played Trials, like it was on like just, you know, mini clips or like addicting games. Like it was just one of those games. So like to see that like have its 5th or 6th installment, you're just like, I mean, I guess, but I don't know. It just it's hard to shake out like game, you know, like so you have Trials, you have Crush the Castle that turned into Angry Birds. And then you have Flappy Bird that was just a helicopter game. It's just like you see these iterations and you're just like,
did we need it or is the original just fine still?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think the original is just fine.
No, I totally get that.
It scratches the same itch for me as like Celeste does of just like ram my head against something until something works.
That is true. I think that Celeste felt less like that in the regular game until I got to the end. But I know that in terms of the extra levels in Celeste, which I will play for an hour, sometimes not beat. But the time that I do beat it, I have a very good time. I feel very accomplished. Especially the sea levels, because they all take around, most of them take, for the last screen at the time you do it successfully, takes less than 30 seconds. Which means when I get the heart, I can hold that screen capture button, get a 30-second clip of me doing that whole difficult thing, and have it saved on my Switch for myself.
Yeah.
Which is very nice. Anything else from Ubisoft?
No.
What's
that?
Shem keeping us in check, knowing everything that came out.
I mean, I did watch through like a good chunk.
What's that game that has Fox in it?
Oh yes.
Yeah, the Space Link.
Starlink.
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean,
Starlink is it's like it's basically a Star Fox game. Like it's a shoot,
but it's more
spaceship.
like 3D open.
It's more 3D open, and the thing about it is that's weird with it is that the game itself doesn't look that cool. It's like super generic.
Very generic.
But then they were like, oh, by the way, the Star Fox characters are here.
Well, they just showed Fox.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Fox and his R-Wing is here, and you can be him.
Which is enough for me to go,
Yeah, exactly.
But why is this not a Star Fox game.
Because Zero came out, and why didn't people like it? It's not like it's Star Fox 64 all over again, but done worse. But I don't know. Star Fox Zero has its merits, but anyways, Starlink. Yeah, it looks like a game that's gonna have a cameo appearance that makes me want to play it, like how I felt about Soul Calibur first. I was like, wow, Link's in this. Oh, my favorite character is me as a 10-year-old boy, Spawn. Oh
my gosh. I mean, my hang-ups on this game is the fact that like when they showed the amiibos that you can customize, I'm just like, well,
there he goes.
Here we go again. It was definitely more kind of like a Skylander type money grab. So just seeing that, I mean, I don't know. They have their target audience again, which is going back to like 11, 12-year-olds because of course like. They have, the figurines kind of like as toys, and then they can use it in the game and like customize and like
toys to life.
Right, that's pretty cool. But me, a 24 something, I don't even know, 24 something. Just it's not jumping out at me because I guess I'm just thinking, just more bogged down with things. Just can't be as blissfully ignored. Just like, yeah, I'm going to get this next, and then I'm going to go to the pizza place.
Just wait till you're a parent. It'll all sink in.
Tim, are you saying that you're not?
Do
you have kids?
Yes, you have a secret child. He's me.
Well, this has taken a very strange turn.
Makes Shem my
you are not the father.
Because Tim's my dad.
I didn't know we were on an episode of Maury.
Yep.
Time-traveling Maury. Oh, man. Time travel would make episodes of Maury crazy lit. I tell you what.
Oh, God.
It would be good.
Yeah, I would watch that.
Maury, but with time travel.
Oh, yeah. They announced a new game mode and faction, a full faction for Honor, which I'll say this on the record, has one of the most toxic communities in all of gaming.
Yeah, because it's a fighting game for the non-fighting game players of, hey, I like Soul Calibur and like Dynasty
Swords.
Warriors. Like I like this shit, but also I'm like definitely like just a like 27-year-old cis white dude who just likes to play like hack and slash games with like no thought put into it, and so they're gonna be like those dinguses that are like, I don't know, having heated gamer moments and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And just cursing out.
And many of the matches are team-based, right?
But I mean,
we know that makes it always worse. Team-based games and toxicity.
Exactly. No, but I mean, they do still have just like one-on-one duels or like 2v2, and like those, I will say, if you do find the right people, it's actually pretty nice, especially when you find 2v2 and both people are kind of locked on, and then if one of them loses, so it's 2v1, the other person will just stand by the side and watch, and you're just like, thank you. But if they feel like, of course, the tides
they need those points,
they'll jump in. But anyway, so they announced a new faction because there are DLC characters that were coming out. Instead of just for each DLC that came out, make a new faction, they just slugged it onto the first three main ones that were Samurai, Knights, and Vikings, where they threw a Highlander class into Vikings, which is okay, I guess. They had a
Scrooge McDuck. This is the fucking Highlander.
They threw a gladiator class into Knights, and I'm just, I don't know. It's just at that point you just could have made your own whole like Greco-Roman faction.
Right.
But instead you did this. So the new faction that they announced was Chinese.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, okay, we're doing something new. It took you way too long. Another thing I'm salty about is that it took them, I think, like 20 or like 15 patches to say, and now, dedicated servers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I remember listening to some podcasts about like some people talking about when For Honor was like in the heyday of like when it like right when it released, and everyone was just like, where are the dedicated servers? Like
not there.
They're not there, and like having this peer-to-peer shit with like 30 FPS and like very much
a game that's based on choosing the right stance to block.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was horrible.
All fighting games are physics based, and just because it is, when it is 60 frames per second, it screws with the physics. Why is Killer Instinct at a locked 60? It should be at 30 because this is physics-based combat.
You need to explain where you read that so that people don't think that you're
I read that on a Twitter called Scrub Quotes. It's actually one of my favorite Twitters because it's just people complaining about how they're just straight up like Johnsing on like the whole like like this is like wrong, and or like they're those people that like just lose in a fighting game and then send you a mean Xbox message about it. It's literally that. But yeah, so there's a guy who thought Killer Instinct was a physics-based fighting game, and that 60 frames per second locked was like bad. Right. And it's really stupid. But anyways,
yeah, not understanding that frame data is a thing.
Yeah,
things take a certain number of frames to act, and that's how the game is. That's the whole game.
Yep.
The whole game is a bit of math on math there for sequences.
Yeah, so there was that. But the real game that got my goat, their pride and joy for Ubisoft. Another Assassin's Creed game. Which I'm just convinced with this one because of the gameplay that they showed in the full trailer. Not even Assassin's game anymore.
What even is it? Where are we?
We're in ancient Greece.
Neat.
And you get to choose between...
Weren't we moving forward in the timeline?
The timeline's fucked, George. The timeline's fucked. Because we started in the First Crusade, then we jumped to Italy, Renaissance.
Italy, then
we jumped to
American
Colonial
Revolution.
Yeah, exactly. Then we jump backwards to like early 1700s in the Caribbean.
Yeah, pirates, and then
we jumped forward
Unity,
to French Revolution.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then there was the British one that I knew jack fuck all about.
There's
Unity. The Rogue, yeah, which like you meant Syndicate.
Syndicate, yeah.
Syndicate was
apparently
apparently
that game was like alright.
I heard that game was okay.
By Unity, I can say I used to at least know somewhat. I used to know 5 things about the Assassin's Creed franchise, but as the people whose presence made it so I wanted to know 5 things about the Assassin's Creed franchise started telling me that the games were garbage. By Unity, I just couldn't even care enough to pay attention to the announcements of the game's existence.
I love seeing those like first day videos that are like unpatched
just
messes.
All the bugs, yeah.
Unity was a wicked fun time. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, I don't know. I heard the Egypt one was really good because they took their time, and I know this is a different studio and they probably took their time more so. But like, I don't know.
I'm jaded on the whole series just because of like how the main story ended up turning out to be, especially with I think Assassin's Creed 3 was a big miss because they made what could have been a very engaging character known as Connor that you play as be very stale and 2D, and he had such good motivation, but just they made him so two-dimensional, and it's really got under my skin. So that ends, and then they just like keep going. I honestly thought that Assassin's Creed 3 should have been the American Revolution. I think that's when they should have done French Revolution. Because one of the base foundations of this series is that we need heavy urban cities with known architecture from that decade. So if you're throwing it into American Revolution,
you got trees.
What's around? What is exactly? I know that they wanted to change things around, and I get that, but with the pace that they were setting already, like they could have held off for a bit.
So when's the Assassin's Creed game that's going to be entirely set in the future in space going to happen?
It's not.
It's not. So the reason why I believe this isn't even an
game.
Assassin's Creed game anymore is that you just seem like you're a Spartan warrior that's trying to just fuck around Greece. That's what it looks like. they maybe showed one frame of you with donning the assassin's hood.
One frame, single
like
frame,
one frame,
subliminal messages.
And then the rest of it is just like customization. I mean, Stephanie really was like freaking out at one point because they showed gameplay of like the skill tree, and she was just like, "That's just Dragon Age 2. That's just literally Dragon Age 2." So
God.
They're just getting more into that because that was in the Egyptian one too, with skill trees and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah. No. That's
you should think
I'm
carefully before introducing certain RPG elements into your more action-based game, because
I agree.
those elements have a place in making you feel like progressing, but if they are holding your player back in terms of what they can do until they're a certain level, Valmstast made a mistake.
Yeah, that's another thing that like kind of got under my skin, as well as like I'm more inclined to more kind of like RPG elements in games now, but knowing that series and like what it was, which like at the end of the day it was like a hack and slash with a original engaging story that kind of then took a really bad turn. So now to see it kind of taking the direction of like RPG skill basing trees and like getting basically like looting for like, you know, legendary equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of like puts me out. And just, I don't know, physically looking, like you watch the combat and it just seems very clunky. That's what I felt with the Egyptian one. Even though that it seems like it's gotten good praise, like just visually looking at it, just it feels clunky than the other
I've always felt that about. That's why I could never get into the series. It has very much the same problem that kept me from fully enjoying the Arkham Asylum.
I was about to say
games.
Batman.
Because you have combos and you have the ability to attack that you could be firing off, but the optimal strategy is to meme around until someone attacks you, and then to counter that attack. And it's really weird when you're standing in a group of 10 people and your initiative is to not take initiative.
Yeah.
And that's what every fight is like, unless you get a stealth kill, and it's kind of... It looks awkward. It very much looks awkward.
Oh, no, the fluidity I don't think is there. And I mean, I don't know, I'm done. I have no idea where the series plans to go now. And I think that was it for Ubisoft, really.
So Shem's had opinions about Ubisoft and opinions about EA.
Yep.
So, which some of those have also been felt, but I've been really feeling the hatred flow through you.
It's like a heat.
Yeah.
So now
Sony,
we can throw in some Square stuff while we do it,
because there wasn't
and then
that much
we'll
to Square.
and then we'll uncork the last part of it.
Yes.
Right.
So
feel like you're gonna
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeet.
I don't know. Was it Avoid the Noid shit?
Avoid the Noid.
Avoid the Noid.
Get away from
Noid?
Yeah,
Get away from the Nemoid.
Don't
get it Norded sounds.
It's quite the thing for Aqua to have Sith eyes.
Getting Norded sounds like a alternative term to boofing.
Or to whippets.
What
to
is
whippets.
boofing?
I don't want to. We're not going into this.
What's boofing?
Does it have to do with shit?
No.
Okay.
Is that the thing where you take alcohol up the butt? I think it's that.
They call it, I thought it was just butt chugging.
I don't know.
They call it boofing?
I think it's boofing. Something's boofing.
I just heard boofing as boof as an alternative word for fart.
No.
I've
no.
never heard boof.
I've never heard that.
You made a little boof.
When are we gonna get
Comedy stylings, boof of a boof.
What?
When are we gonna get boofing in 5E?
God damn it.
I hate it. I hate this.
Well, fucking hell.
Back to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
So I just want to put in my weight. I'm finally going through the first game because I rage quit after, I don't know, it was a weird mess. I was 11. I was like, Disney, this is cool, but this is also pretty weird. And I hit a wall, and that was it. And now I decided, you know what, I'm finally going to move on with my life and beat this game. And let me tell you, there's a whole lot else happening in this game, but I am still lost when someone just busts down the door and says, Aqua got Norded!
You won't know that for...
Couple games.
Speaking as the most casual of Kingdom Hearts fans, I tweeted about it earlier. they're going buck wild with the plaid in these designs. Pretty cool.
I love it.
Honestly, I actually really actively like a lot of the designs that they're using. Everything looks really nice. Really big fan of the combat that they're showing off, and like all of the different weapons and
definitely a
areas.
lot borrowed from Final Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really cool to see what they take from Final Fantasy 15 because I've played a little bit of 15 and seen a fair amount of it played. And I think the main thing that game has wrong is game feel. I think that no matter how long you play it, if you compare it to one of even the old Kingdom Hearts games, I just don't think hitting your buttons is quite as fun. I think it's flashy as hell, and there's other stuff that's super cool about the game. Yeah. When it comes to the sheer thing of swinging your sword around, I don't like that game. Doesn't quite have the game feel. It's almost there in a lot of places with the teleporting attacks. So to see them borrow some stuff from 15 to put back into Kingdom Hearts, which always feels buttery smooth, even in like the bad game 358 Days Over 2, it still feels like
it doesn't like play bad. It's just like boring.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it doesn't even like it's got fine controls. The fucking Pirates of the Caribbean trailer was so amazing.
Everyone was so scared, right?
Everyone was so I mean, all the people looked so real in like a good way, and they made the character like our actual characters look good in that world.
Yep.
But not only that, the fucking gameplay that we went through, where we're going underwater, we're killing things underwater, we're breathing underwater, we don't care, we're swimming through, we're jumping out of the water, double jumping into the air, riding an enemy, fucking flying it towards the boss, doing some fucking quick time with the boss, and then jumping off.
It's pretty silly in the best of ways.
Yeah, in like the sickest way possible. It's like destroying shit. The fucking keyblade that looks like the goddamn steering wheel of the ship.
Yeah.
Fucking doing water attacks.
So I saw a video, bringing up this YouTuber again, Maximilian Dude. He got to play it. And the way he described it is that basically when you're doing... First of all, you can equip 3 keyblades at a time, and you switch between them with the D-pad. And all of the keyblades, you know how it looked like the steering wheel, and it was like turning into a boat as he attacked and did chains? Every keyblade has transformations that do that. What you're doing as you're attacking is you're functionally attacking, leveling up your keyblade temporarily to go to the next stage of your combo to continue doing that. And every keyblade does this. That's what the like gauntlets from the Toy Story trailer are. Mm-hmm. That's the keyblade. You like attack with it, and then it breaks apart and turns into claw arms.
It's cool.
That you fucking slash around.
Jesus.
And then it turns out that magic works the same way. That you like fire off some ice, and then the ice starts making a little grinding rail, and then you jump on the grinding rail and you continue to shoot ice. So that looks crazy, and I am super down for it because I want hype bulls. Listen, the 1,000 Heartless fight from 2. It's a fun time, I tell you what.
Okay.
Oh fuck, I forgot
because
about that.
you haven't gotten to Kingdom Hearts 2, so you haven't seen action commands as they really are, which are like basically little quick time like shows you can press triangle, and then you get to do a special thing. And most of that fight is mashing triangle to do cool shit, and it's still one of the best moments from the goddamn game. Like,
I forgot about it.
I want my bosses in Kingdom Hearts to be fairly difficult, and I want killing randos to feel like I'm a fucking god.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like it has that in spades. And the worlds seem huge.
They seem pretty big.
Yeah.
Compared to how the simple screens worked in the other games.
In Toy Story, like that whole trailer that we got from a while back, it looks so expansive and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear Tom Hanks.
You're not going to get Tom Hanks.
I want to hear Tom Hanks talking to
Mike motherfucking Wazowski over in
Billy Crystal.
Love that they pulled the Pixar cork. It was time.
Of course it was time.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get Tom Hanks for it. You're going to get his brother. He does all the voiceover work for Woody.
Tim Hanks.
Tim Hanks and Tom Hanks. Tim and Tom.
The organization is back for seemingly no reason. I mean, there are story reasons why they would be back, but why do they identify as the organization and not like their other life? Like, why? We don't fucking know. We know the Ansem and Xemnas are just there independently of each other.
Kyrie calls Axel Axel instead of
Oh yeah, instead of Lee.
Lee, which is
memorized.
So that's gonna be nuts. But everything about the game is like, it fills me with hope. Like nothing looks bad.
Yeah, that game. I have not played any of the little the spin-offs and stuff like that. I know they're not spin-offs technically. They're like story supplement and stuff.
They are
mainline games.
Until you get to Birth by Sleep, they are spin-off games because they don't feel like Kingdom Hearts. And Birth by Sleep pretty much feels like Kingdom Hearts, and Dream Drop Distance really feels like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but it looks interesting, and I would definitely want to play it. I don't have a PS4, but I would definitely play it.
I'm just so excited I get to live, guys. I'm very excited.
Want to explain your bet?
Why don't you tell the listeners what bullet you just barely dodged?
Back in March, I decided to call an old friend and say, hey, I got a bet. This isn't a bet, though, because more or less it's really one-sided. I only get to suffer if I lose. I say, hey, I bet you that Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out in 2019 and not 2018. And if I lose, I'm going to have to watch an entire season of Fuller House. Now, the problem with me watching an entire season of Fuller House is a couple episodes that I watched from that new reboot made me aggressively drink. And when I mean aggressively drink, I mean just chugging straight whiskey from the bottle for at least a good 10 seconds. So
that's ruinous. Especially considering that you would have done that more if you were watching more episodes, is what you're saying.
Yep. So
you wouldn't have gotten to a certain level of belligerently drunk and stopped.
I would have just died. So I was convinced, getting closer and closer to E3, that's just like, this was a poor bet. This wasn't. It doesn't even constitutionalize a bet, because the only thing that happens if I won was that they just have to wait longer for the game to come out. That was it.
You win by 1 month.
I win by 1 month. I mean, I when my friend told me the news and the date, I literally screamed out. I was just like, I get to live.
Yay! I'm so glad, honestly.
Yeah, as hilarious as going into being in the room with you as you slowly died due to Fuller House would have been. I'm glad it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Moving on.
We have Sony and Square. Oh, Square Enix announced. I don't play FF14, but they announced a crossover with Monster Hunter Worlds, where you get to fight Monster Hunter monsters in Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO. And I have to say, as far as two things I don't play, one of which I actively would like to play, being Monster Hunter World, and one that I don't have any major interest in, that is one hell of a crossover.
Yeah. I want to use Farago with my Calico, my Palico.
Your Palico?
Yeah, that's what they're called in that game. Oh. You have little friend cats and they're Palicos. They're super cute.
I love
it. That game is like very cat-centric.
Here's what I'm mad at Square Enix about. No release date for the fucking Switch port for The World Ends With You.
They said fall.
When did they say that?
During the Switch conference.
Right, they didn't do it.
They said fall 2018.
They didn't do it on.
They did that on the Direct.
On the Nintendo Direct. Yes.
I watched the whole Direct. There was no World Ends With You date.
Yes, there was. There was.
There was the couple other games they talked about at the beginning of the Direct were really quick.
Yeah.
What the shit? Fall. That's not a date though, and I don't get what's so hard about porting a game that already has an iOS version. They don't have to update the art. They don't have to update the fucking
ports.
Music.
Take time. Ports take time.
What the fuck ever. Whatever. I'm pissed.
Also, Final Fantasy VII Remake ever coming out?
No, it's never coming out.
No, didn't they say that it was like the estimated time? Hey, it's me, everybody's Suihei Yoshida.
John
into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, I was thinking more of Bobcat Goldthwait. So yeah, I heard you guys like Final Fantasy VII, but so we're gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna be like 2023. They literally said like, look at her.
You know what? Here's the thing. Here is the thing. I don't want it to be as plagued as this, but we will all remember a time when Final Fantasy 15 was called Versus 13.
Oh yeah.
That game was in development for a million years.
Also, Last Guardian.
Yes.
Which came out, which I'm still in shock about. That game actually physically came out.
True.
Yeah.
So...
who knows? At the same time, it's the type of thing... I understand why people are stoked about the FF7 remake. They want to... And it being a fully new type of game is good because it invites less comparison to the original. However, I wonder how many people who FF7 is their favorite game are going to like this new one. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
It literally has to do with how their tastes in games have changed over time, because the nature of the series has changed over time.
Yeah.
So if there's someone who likes Final Fantasy 15 as well as 7, then they're probably gonna like the game.
Yeah.
But like, if not, and they're like replaying 5 right now or something, then they're probably gonna hate this game.
Yeah. Something about it though that I think is interesting, if this storytelling holds true. From what I've seen of it, the actual story for Final Fantasy 15, like the main story, is kind of okay, which is really odd because you come to Final Fantasy for
the story.
That a huge munch. You come for the RPG system and the big stories.
Yeah.
However, what kicks ass in Final Fantasy 15 is being on a road trip with your bros and all the character interactions.
Hell yeah.
So if they have an approach to storytelling that emphasizes character interactions, but they already have the framework of the story of Final Fantasy VII to work in, that could potentially make something really special, because they don't have to make whole cloth a new main story. They can focus on imagining like extra side missions you get to go on with Barrett and shit.
Right.
And maybe go hunting with Red 13 while he catches some prey. Like,
Yeah.
that would be really sick. Or, I don't know, have some strange conversation with Kate Sith.
Very strange.
Are there big points from Sony we want to...
I can just I can just kind of like do my run through. Last of Us Part 2. It's more Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's gay as shit. Hell yeah.
All about it.
I'm super down with it. Looks really good. Yeah.
I have to quickly go while we're on Last of Us. Last of Us, another thing that I go, great for other people, not necessarily for me.
Right.
But that's just because I don't enjoy hyper-realistic looking games in general.
You'd rather be taken out.
I just don't. I also don't super like to play games where I'm just a regular person, because they usually lack game feel in some way for me.
Okay.
Because I want interacting with my controller to be a joy unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it looks good. What's that Sucker Punch game?
Ghost of
Tsushima.
Yeah.
That game looks dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I had a PS4 because that game looks sick. And that's all I have to say about that.
A perfect comparison for like my taste in games, just a thing of it, is that I saw trailers for 2 samurai style games this E3. That one and Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to play Shadows Die Twice because my samurai has a bone arm. I fight people who are 12 feet tall.
Yep.
And I have a grappling hook.
Yeah, that game.
Like,
awesome.
they both look good, don't get me wrong, but I just think that it is illustrative of my tastes, that if you have 2 samurai games that are relatively realistic in art style and presentation, then the one with the crazy bullshit and a giant serpent at the end of the trailer is my preferred game, as opposed to the one where you have to call your horse and don't just jump down off the cliff, but like ride through the meadow to go where you're going. Because you know what I saw in that moment? The thing where in Breath of the Wild I wouldn't have called my horse.
And then Death Stranding.
Oh, well, alright. Yeah,
I'm gonna need to experience it. What is it?
No.
We don't know.
Like,
it's a movie.
It's delivery.
It's an interactive theater art piece.
Yeah, he walks around in a post-apocalyptic setting with extremely weird technology to help him through because he's in a weird-ass fucking world.
The rain ages him.
Yeah, the rain ages them. That's why they eat the bugs. And he carries things. He doesn't question what he carries. Sometimes he carries a dead fucking body, and we're just gonna like carry that around, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, that trailer, out of the trailers we saw that were like short films, the Death Stranding one was my favorite.
Also, they really nailed it. Because of the toenail bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was literally Kojima just like, I want to make something disgusting in this trailer.
That took me a lot of mental fortitude to process.
Kojima is an auteur. And everything that comes with. Like, that means that every scrap of his game is his vision. And that means that if some part of his brain says a scene where the guy takes his toenail off, or a baby that you attach to yourself, like
and preg.
Listen, Norman Reedus, I'm finally getting to make my M-Preg game, and you will not stop me.
See,
everyone's too scared to stop him.
It's too hard to visually communicate, so I'm glad they didn't do it. I'm glad they just did the toenail ripping off. But what would have been worse and possibly more realistic is if that man sustained like a burn and like a blister underneath his toenail.
Oh god!
And then had to torch like a needle of some kind to pierce through his toenail. Yeah.
Why?
Well, time to get the paper towels to clean up everyone's puke. But yes,
Who wants chowder?
Who wants chowder?
Yeah, I really like Death Stranding. I'm super down on Kojima. I love like pretty much all this stuff. I need to play Policenauts, but
I'm really at some point I would like to take the deep dive that is the Metal Gear series, and I plan on it. I am very glad.
It's deep and it's great.
I am very glad that Death Stranding is a new IP, because that means that I just get to experience. Like, I almost feel like, even though I know it will be different, I almost feel like getting a taste for Kojima's style will allow me to go play Metal Gear once I've experienced a thing that is complete in and of itself. Hopefully. Or maybe Kojima's starting on a series, and the strange M-Preg post-apocalyptic delivery survival horror simulator is what Kojima's going to make for the next 10 years. Who knows? It'll probably be brilliant, not appreciated by the mass market as much, but have a rabid fan base that adores it and comes back every single time.
Yeah, I'm very down with it. He's good. He does stupid stuff a lot, but at the same time, like, he makes a lot of really cool shit. MGS2 and MGS3 are fucking awesome.
Oh, MGS3.
Yeah, it's classic. But yeah, I'm pumped for Kojima. I'm glad he gets to make his game with his boyfriend, Mads Mikkelsen, and also Norman Reedus. But as for Sony stuff, I think that's pretty much.
Well, I mean, let's not forget the remake in the room.
Oh yeah, RE2 make.
Resident Evil 2.
Yep, that game looks good.
Like it's
apparently it doesn't have a fixed camera angle, which I think is horseshit.
Wait. You mean you're saying? You're saying like from the original.
From the original, it doesn't have a fixed camera.
I think copying over probably what they did for Resident Evil 4. So
yeah, they're doing the over the shoulder thing. I don't like it, but I kind of like it, but whatever. It's
fixed camera angle horror games are really tough. Like,
that would have very polarized a lot of people.
That's what that game is, though. That game is like shoulder buttons to turn, and you slowly turn, and it's like, there's something behind me.
The thing about it, I get that, but the thing about it is, I think that when it starts to feel, sometimes when it starts to feel like controlling your character is even more difficult than doing the thing in real life, like far more difficult than doing the thing in real life. It can, depending on who you are, it can wear on the experience. I know with like...
That's valid.
I really liked my playthrough of Silent Hill 3.
What? Was it one?
It was not one.
It was
not
two.
One.
It was two.
Silent Hill 2. I really enjoyed my playthrough of Silent Hill 2. I was really glad to play it with someone who knew the game inside and out and could tell me where to go. And I sometimes didn't like how the camera angle would just completely change and I couldn't do fuck about it. But that's me. Yeah. I think there are ways to transcend those undigestible parts that used to just be a piece of horror, horror games.
Let me revel in it. I love it. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Some people like bullshit Castlevania jumping too, It's
exactly.
Like it's what you like is what you like.
Yeah, whatever your cup of tea is.
But yeah, that's Sony. Now we move on to the big part of the show.
Yeah.
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Yeah, we can't forget.
Yep, it's back.
It's back. Devolver is questionable as a publisher. They do some stupid shit sometimes, and they've done the whole like, oh, we want our artists to be to maintain creative freedom, and like use that as an excuse to be like transphobic and shit with certain games, which fucking sucks. But they also release games like Enter the Gungeon and Hotline Miami that are cool and fun, and I know they've been trying to get this for a while. They've been trying to get the license for it because it was a 2004 Xbox game only made in Japan. That English dub was for... They had it in the Japanese version. It's great. It's fucking great. But... So they got it and they're releasing it, and I think that's super cool because more people need to experience that game. I think the Mech America Great Again thing is
questionable.
Poor taste.
I think it is.
It is low-hanging fruit because they found it on the fucking ground.
Right. Here's the thing that I do think is interesting about that phrase is that So, like, when you make a comparison like that, right, it helps to have a point. Like, we were talking about the Make Smash Great Again hats and how those just don't seem to have...
God, that guy was a fucking idiot.
They just don't... That doesn't seem to have, like, a point, right? Like, there's nothing, there's no satire, there's no corroborating point. It's just, hey, this is a thing that exists, so we're going to make a thing that's like the thing that exists. Yeah. Now, with Mech America Great Again... highlighting the high absurdity world we live in by using the phrase when it is a game about the president and the vice president fighting each other in mech suits, and you compare that to real life, and you go like, and you kind of go like, how ridiculous is that really compared to the dark timeline we found ourselves in with all the strange things going on?
True shit.
I think that it kind of earns itself as a marketing phrase at that point.
Yeah.
But the game looks hilarious.
That game is so fucking good. It's like not even that great of a game. It's just the presence of it in terms of the stylistic choices and the story, like. You take back the cities, like the big cities of America as like territories, and trying to fucking take down Richard.
Speaking of the big cities of America, one last thing we should get on before we go beyond is Jump Force.
Oh
right?
boy.
Oh yes. Oh my god.
My fanfic got turned into a game.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I really don't ever like to see is anime games that use like really hyper realistic like shading or textures, like it makes it look gross and putrid, and it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to see a like high res like Luffy from One Piece, like that doesn't look right. He needs to be this like ArcSys needs to do a rework of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As soon as I saw Naruto there, I was like, oh no, the way Luffy looks in this game is going to suck.
Yes, and it does.
Oh no.
There's another One Piece game that's coming out that's apparently like an action adventure like solo game, which looks good because it looks like the anime.
Well, that you need the style with an anime game, right?
Yeah.
That's what ArcSys does so well, is making something actually look like anime.
Good. Instead of that Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast cutscene where it's Vegeta and Goku and they're like, and they're like bobbing their heads and looking at each other. Like, God fucking damn it, I hate that game. But also that one scene is really fucking funny. Yeah.
All right.
Pep and Nintendi.
So Xavier doesn't overflow.
Yeah.
Hold on, we quickly need to talk about... Nintendo did not talk about many games at all. They dropped a quick line about The World Ends With You. They told us about a Mario Party game, which honestly looks kind of fun, and a Mario Party game belongs on the Switch.
Mario Party. the multiple switches puzzle game thing.
I thought that was really cool. I really like just the fact that we're getting another party game on Switch because I feel like that was one of the big selling points.
Yeah. And you're not in a car. You're not in a car. You move around the board by yourself.
This isn't goddamn communism. We're not like sharing the points.
Like, goddamn, the Lord intended friendships can be ruined in Mario Party once more.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z for the Switch.
Oh yes. They dropped that and it's like cool.
It'll be fun. I
hate the Switch controller when it comes to fighting games though. The Joy-Cons are not good.
I would agree with the Joy-Cons. I think if you play on pad, the Pro Controller, like if you already use controller, I think the Pro Controller is an entirely reasonable thing for.
Oh yeah, and that's fair, but just Joy-Cons like they're weird. They're weird controllers that work for some things and don't work that well for others. Like Celeste worked alright, but I had to use the arrows just because like any game that's 2D, I have to use the D-pad for it, and that D-pad is weird.
Well, it's not a D-pad, it's four buttons.
It's 4 buttons. But
on the Pro Controller, it's a D-pad, though. Yeah. It's very nice. Yeah, I totally agree. I wonder if there are, like, driver fixes or little things you can get that would allow you to use the PC mode in the USB stuff on the Switch.
Maybe.
For like, fight sticks. Because I know stuff like that is coming. The fighting game community is very resourceful. And I know they updated those USB ports to just work with a bunch of third-party things, and that's when suddenly the GameCube controller adapter just started working on Switch games for no reason. Nintendo didn't plan to release that feature, but something else they did happens to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming by Smash they'll go make sure that like works correctly. Not yet. The other big one that they talked about...
Final Fantasy...
No.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
They did Xenoblade, which I need to get into that series. It all looks good to me, but I need to actually spend the time to play, and I want to play Shulk's game before I play Xenoblade.
Yeah, I really want to play the 3DS one. They have it on Wii, but the Wii one's expensive. Actually, I think you can get it on Wii. I don't know. But yeah, I want to get it and I want to play it because it looks cool. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Let's talk Fire Emblem.
All right. I have a couple things to say about Fire Emblem.
I am gonna be more or less silent for this because this is a series I've not kept up.
First off, this trailer, the animation looks really sick. The whole art style looks pretty cool. I like the way everything looks cinematically. However, for the gameplay itself, here's the question. Why do we need giant light arcs going from the character to the guy that they can attack, even though it's extremely clear where they can move on that grid and where they can attack someone? It seems crazy to me that they would have that, because it just bogs the screen down with more things. And also, the character pauses at one point and you can see their options, so this is interesting, I noticed. I'm trying to get to it actually because I have the trailer open right now. Let's see. Come on, I'm almost there. So basically, one of the things that they have that normally you don't have in a Fire Emblem game is formation, which allows you to move all your little stands next to you, and they can move in a certain order. And sometimes it matters, and sometimes it doesn't. Apparently, in this trailer, they just sort of appear when they do the thing, but then later on, they can like form the guys in a certain way. But my question is, why are there expendable people in my army that I don't have to care about in a Fire Emblem game? That's what takes me out of it completely, and that's why I don't need this. I'm not playing a turn-based Dynasty Warriors game. I am playing a tactical RPG where I'm trying to keep everyone alive. That's like literally like the thing of Fire Emblem. Like there's people on the board that you want on the board, and losing people on the board is usually like not how you want to go. Basically, because like otherwise, how would you even win even without? I don't know how you would even win even without permadeath on, unless it's Phoenix mode. But that's another whole thing. So there's that. There's also the fact that they're all around you, and like they act like they're taking damage. Like, what is this group damage, and why does it matter? Like, I want these two people to like be in a conflict with each other and like doing the damage. It was cool the way they zoomed down into the combat, and like suddenly you're surrounded by a bunch of things, and like you see the battle going on around you. That was fucking sick. But why like does there have to be like this multi-layered attack where like my attack is one of many that's attacking another group that is of many, when I really just like did this unit to that unit? It like is completely not Fire Emblem. Also, the title Three Houses pisses me off in conjunction with the character designs of the characters, because the characters are all three houses within one kingdom, so they all look so similar, where they all wear like black jumpsuits and have one accent color each to match like the house of their color, and it's just like Game of Thrones shit.
That's super what it is.
Yeah. It's like they're trying so hard to now have it be Game of Thrones or some shit.
Which is so weird because it's always been from like... I feel like it's an element of looking for super recent inspiration instead of like delving deeper. Because like, you know, in a way, not in the same way, but like Fire Emblem has always been like fairly classic fantasy with extra accents each game, and they don't need to dive into this like super brandable house system, right, to like do what they do. The mass battle thing, I hope is I think the way that it could work is if those mechanics are only there sometimes, and if therefore the aesthetics of the battles can be different.
Yeah.
Because what would be cool is if you get to a certain point in the game and there is a large conflict between houses at high levels, like these actual mass conflicts, then actually have mass conflict appearances, you know? But if they're just, like, what I don't want is to have a platoon of people when I've got, like, 5 units. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
we saw in the trailer, like the very first fight, they all have like, it's just like, nope, we're all here doing the thing, and it's all just like really dumb. What I didn't get too is like why they spent 5 seconds of that trailer just showing the person walking around. Like, there's already been a Fire Emblem game where you walk around. It's called Echoes or whatever. Right?
I really want to play that.
Shadows.
Yeah, Shadows of Valentia. Like that's been established already. We don't need to establish it for 5 seconds straight of just running in 3 different directions, literally kill me. And then finally he gets to the castle that he's going to teach the girl how to like be better at the axe. But my question is, okay, great, we can gain weapon XP outside of battle now. That's great. That's happy duty. You can't always use the axe in every fight, so you get the points in the axe other ways. Happy duty. But here's the problem. Like, what else am I going to be thinking about between these battles? Am I going to be thinking about, like where is the resource management? Where is the feeling of, do I have enough shit? Have I spent enough time with these people to win the game? Like, where is the oh fuck, I've fucked my route. I'm better off, like, the way I want to play the game, I'm better off restarting or something. Or, like, you know, that's just an example. That's not necessarily me. That's just, like, whoever could be playing the game.
Right. Like, I don't want...
So confused. Like, it's not that I want it to be specifically harder. It's that I want the ways Fire Emblem is challenging to stay similar to how it was.
Yeah, and I don't want, with the things in between battles, I want the sweet spot of awakening and not the fuckfest that is Fates.
Oh yeah, the fucking, here's your list of, 30 fucking chores to go around and do.
Right, I don't want that. I don't want it to feel like I'm doing dailies every time I finish a fucking level.
Yeah,
I want to play the level, and then, because when you did stuff in between in Awakening, it never felt like work. It felt like, oh shit, I unlocked support conversations. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I unlocked a paralog. Maybe I can do that. Ooh, an enemy showed up on the map. Maybe I want to go grind. Like, it was all very there.
Yeah.
And reactive to what you were given, as opposed to Fates, which was so like, well, I could go try and play one of the old maps again. Or I could talk to everybody. I could go to the Coliseum for no reason.
Or you could do one of the infinite invasion maps that come up. So there's literally no point in going back to the map if you have like really strong guys. You want to go and like do those. Like there was no difference.
It was so much so. Needless to say, I feel like Fire Emblem fans were feeling at a low point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the last game kind of sucked, and the game before it was godlike.
Yep.
So honestly, as long as this game...
I haven't played Shadows of Valentia yet.
Fair. Also, same with me. I feel like if this game is... As long as this game is, like, fairly better than Fates, I'm okay if it's not as good as Awakening, because I understand that, like, maybe not every entry in the series is amazing.
I just want Fire Emblem to be better than Fates from now on. I think Fates was not a low point overall in the series, because it's, like, way more competent than some other titles, but at the same time, it's, like... Fire Emblem can never be this bad again, or else it won't come out anymore. Like, it won't be seen as viable anymore.
They really tried to milk. I remember they were like, 3 different versions, and like, I was like, you can't pull that shit. And
the third version, you can't like actually play unless you beat the other 2.
Yeah, it's like that.
And all of them, and every other path besides the base game is $20 more. It's like,
you want to know who gets to pull that shit? Pokemon. You know who else? No one.
Yeah.
Because that is an old...
Mega Man used to be able to.
Mega Man used to be able to.
Which one? Oh, you mean Battle Network?
Yeah, Battle Network 6.
I mean, that's true. They did have 2 versions of every game. Like 3, 4, 5, and 6. All the 2 versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, still, either way,
But think about what those games are. Those games are like... Especially with Pokemon, right? Pokemon is for a social aspect.
Yeah.
And Mega Man, like the Battle Network games...
They added a social aspect to it. It's multiplayer, you can trade the chips.
Right, exactly. It's an element of it. There is no social aspect to it. It is just more time spent playing the similar game.
Yeah.
So, Fire Emblem.
That's it.
Hopefully it's not shit, but it looks like shit. Like, God.
Yeah, not as excited as I wanted to be about that.
Get the stands out of my battles. I don't need them. What is this?
Now, let's talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Holy goddamn shit!
Every fucking character.
Everyone is here. All right, so
Popo, Nana, Young
Kept you waiting, huh?
Wolf,
Snake. Let's talk about.
Kept you waiting, huh?
All right, let's talk about. Let's go from a reactions place. Then we'll talk about some of the hopes we have for the game, and then I'm gonna get into some of the shit I've observed from all of the information we've got so far.
Reactions. I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks very good. I think it looks like a faster Smash 4, which is what Smash 4 needed. I think directional air dodges are good. I think adding at least one change to almost every single character. I think Luigi is pretty much the same.
But we haven't seen all of his moveset either.
Exactly. But like most characters have something good about them to go back to. I like how Ness has a lot more added flair. Lil Mac has added recovery out of his side B. Fucking thank God. And aside from that, I don't know. I just think the game looks good. I think having additional movement options is good. And I think Dr. Mario getting a spike is fucking disgusting. That instantly makes me want to play Dr. Mario. I'm really excited to go back to Wolf and Snake because I really like those two, but I just kind of want to see how they feel. I want to see if Snake puts up a tent with his up tilt again.
Hopefully that hitbox becomes a little more literal than it was in Brawl. Because
it's gotta be a triangle.
Yeah, it has to take up the entire space in between the platforms on Pokemon Stadium.
Yep.
What were some of your reactions seeing some of it?
My reactions? Well, I mean, I watched it during my break at work, so like I wasn't there for like, right at the beginning of the launch train.
Yeah.
Or at the launch of the hype train.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. Those were words. But yeah, just knowing that like it's literally everyone, and it's just like, man, that's a lot of characters. When did we get so many characters?
Yeah,
65.
I honestly was expecting them to just like make that announcement later that like, oh, we got everyone, but we're gonna show you like 3 or 4 new characters.
I was thinking that they weren't gonna show everybody, but I wanted them to kind of. I wish that they didn't do such a dump. I wish that maybe they like in August they're like, hey, so here's some of the new characters, or like the Smash Dojo thing.
I can see that because it builds hype over time, and that is a fun part of it. However, I want to take us back to a time when Pac-Man was officially listed on the website and Game & Watch wasn't for Smash 4.
Oh,
and I just don't. I'm glad that nobody has to be afraid that their mains aren't here.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad that nobody has to be afraid that their mains are going to be fucking locked away by fucking DLC. Like, fucking hell, every character is just like, no, you buy the game, you get every goddamn character, and if we make DLC, it's going to be for brand new characters. Every character that you like is in this game, and you can fucking play as them without paying another goddamn $5.
Yeah. I don't want to unbuy. I want to unbuy Corrin.
Yeah, I want to unbuy Corrin too. Corrin sucked.
Corrin was fun to play as, but Corrin as a character sucks.
Is milk toast at best.
The crazy thing is that Corrin is a character who technically has more traits than Robin, because Robin is an amnesiac self-insert character the face of it.
I also dislike Robin.
I think Robin.
I think Robin plays cool as a character. I just dislike Robin as a character.
I like Robin in Awakening. I think Robin actually has more things going on, more character than Corrin does in Fates. I didn't get all the way to the end of Fates, so sue me. But I think that things get pretty cool in Awakening. I can't believe the one newcomer we got revealed.
Inklings.
Yeah.
I can't. First of all, his trailer was incredible.
I
Mega
know.
Man is fucking dead, and Mario with them, and him spinning Mario's hat around his fucking claw.
Yeah.
And then fucking like they swim up, and then they see the Smash Ball.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Who's Ridley?
I just.
Ridley's too fucking big.
I love that his thing hits the big time because of the fucking meme that he's too big to be put in the game, because that was their excuse for Smash 4. I think that's great. I think that's as great as Lucas comes out of nowhere, just like, because they weren't planning to put him in the game, but popular demand brought him back to Smash 4.
Lucas is from the Nowhere Islands.
Oh, I didn't even know. I literally thought that wasn't a reference, but that's even cooler.
Yeah, the entire setting of Mother 3 is the Nowhere Islands.
Very cool.
I love that.
Yep. You know, you would love to.
What, the game itself?
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, hey, I played the game. I'm almost there. I'm not almost there. I'm like 2 chapters in.
Play it.
The other thing about the game is that apparently, like, aerials look like they have no fucking landing lag in this game, and I am so here for it.
We're ready. We're gonna hit the ground running.
Like, I'm so glad that descending aerials can be pressure, because learning auto-canceled windows in Smash 4 was a pain.
I do actually have a complaint I just remembered. Don't like how desaturated the game kind of looks. I think that the shaders that they're using, like the highlights and the shadows, like lights and darks, you're just using white and black as shading and highlights, and those are bad colors that look bad if you overuse them, and I don't like them. If you use like a blue or something for shadows, like that's cool. You could use like a light yellow or something for highlights. Like, come on, like come on, give it some color. But also, like, Bowser doesn't look good. His color scheme is like super muted and looks kind of gross. And I really liked how I think the Smash 4 had a weird art style because it was so sterile, but the thing I really did like about it was how bright it was.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would agree. I think that this game is walking the line in the middle of Brawl and Smash 4 in a lot of ways, bringing back detail in ways that Smash 4 took it out, but also muting some of the colors that Smash 4 had, but not entirely, because I feel like characters like Zelda look incredible.
Oh yeah,
right?
Zelda great.
Like, Zelda looks incredible, Ganon looks incredible.
Wow, incredible.
The Inklings ink.
Yeah.
Yo, there was so I watched the Smash Invitational, and Mango played the Inkling, and at one point he lost his match against MK Leo, I think.
Yes. But he got him with a forward air that was really, it was his jab.
It was a jab. The Inkling's full jab combo was just a bunch of rapid fire
from the
ink
splatter
shots.
shot. Yeah.
And the thing about it is that all of that coats you in ink. So MK Leo was playing Sonic, and Sonic turned from his regular blue into the bright blue of the ink. Like, he got completely coated, and only his eyes showed through it. Like his gloves didn't show in detail, but the silhouette was still there.
Yeah.
So one, that's going to be super. Getting a jab is going to be super important for the Inklings gameplay because they deal more damage if you're covered in ink. So fully coating you with ink near the beginning of the battle is going to be very important for them.
Yeah.
Two, details like that, like that's part of it that makes me wonder if Bowser's just not done. Like if the character models that don't look good color wise.
Yeah.
Because other characters look
great.
So like they look great and they pop off the screen.
Yeah.
But I think that the new animations look awesome. I thought that the care put into Mario was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Making it so the K is actually wearing the cape when he like spins it around, changing it so that he charges Flood with his back to the screen and then leans down to shoot it. Super cool. They even changed his down smash, makes it so when he's facing the screen at the time when his legs pass in front of facing forward, he's actually breakdancing. Like he's actually like legs off the ground spread apart because they're
DDR Mario mix.
Exactly.
Woo,
and
baby.
They even changed some of the animation on his forward air, which has always been one of the satisfying moves. Like clearly the character models are taken from Smash 4. Like
yeah, like it's literally undeniable. The character models in Smash 4 look really good, but the thing is that like it's a very much an obvious we took from the last game to make this next game better, but we're spicing things up with different shaders and different animations just to make it so it doesn't feel like you're not getting a complete package.
Right. But when you make a Smash game, if the distance between the two Smash games is 4 years and that's what you get, I'm pretty okay with that, personally.
Yeah, I'm down with Snake.
Yeah.
I'm down with Wolf.
I'm down with I'm down with having a base game that gets improved in this way, just because I'm so much. I really like Smash 4, and I grew to like Smash 4 more and more as I played it, and then I eventually dropped off. And I was hyped for Smash 4, but seeing Smash 4 at its invitational compared to watching this game at its invitational, there is no question that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate looks so much better.
Yeah.
Like
it's gonna be good.
Leagues.
It's gonna be fucking great.
It is leagues above how Smash 4 felt, just in speed, in gravity. The fact that you jump is Lucas or like Ness doesn't have his like kind of weird hop. He had like every character kind of jumps and then like eases up, but it's like a quick. It's like bam.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't really that they ease up. It's that they pop to their maximum height really fast.
Oh shit! I need to see what kind of like double jump shit Ness can do now.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know what's coming back.
Because that sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We don't know if you'll be able to cancel it. We don't know if you can use a double jump to interrupt your full hop. So before we get into this, which I very much would like to spend some time getting into, I want to go around and see what people's just based on your relationship with the Smash series, what people's hopes are for the game. Starting with Shem here. What are your hopes for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
I gotta say, I think first off, that it plays smoothly, and when I mean smoothly, I mean that like you pick it up and you just feel at home. There's nothing too foreign with any, or I'm gonna say too foreign, but nothing too new that seems that it's its own game, because at the end of the day, it is just an expansion on top of the. It's all been leading up to this. I mean, even with the rosters, like everyone's here. So I would say that's probably the biggest one. And Skull Kid, still Skull Kid. Holding out, Skull Kid.
I hear you. What are some of your co-pilots?
Here's the thing. I love the presentation of the game so far. I just hope that presentation doesn't get in the way of gameplay in some ways. So like in Smash 4, they added that insane lightning bolt when you get an almost assured kill, and like that was fine. there was a little bit of an issue at first where I was like, I don't know if I should still be smash DIing this or not, like what actually matters in this trade, blah, blah, blah. But that was fine. It ended up being fine. But in this one, instead of that, what they actually have is that the entire screen changes. And at the beginning of the game, when the game first comes out, and it gets found out that not every Switch can actually handle that and keep the read of the kill correct, I'm gonna be very mad, and it better be fucking right. It better be fucking right. I don't like adding fanfare to the most crucial moment of the game, because then what? What if the game fucking can't handle it all at once, and then you lose your fucking input based on fucking bullshit? So, keeping that in mind, everything else should be fine.
I would totally agree with that. I think we saw with the Invitational, with the slow motion, is that those only, in stock matches at least, slowdowns only happen on last stock kills. Which is still a crucial moment, but they happen less overall.
Yeah, that's good.
In time matches, I think they happen all the time because no stocks matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I have another thing, too. One other thing. I hope the competitive community stops being stupid and idiotic and wrong with how many fucking maps you can pick.
Absolutely.
In this fucking game.
Well, no, that's not a problem anymore because we have Battlefield.
Well, I still want...
Well, yeah, that's true, but there are map configurations that you should be able to play on. Like, Delfino Plaza is not broken, just play the game.
Even if it is broken, like, we used to play on crazy-ass stages.
Coming back, baby.
Here's what I'm saying.
Not even
Here's what I'm saying. Frigate Orpheon, even though it turns upside down, Frigate Orpheon was a legal stage in Brawl. Just saying.
Right.
I have no fucking qualm with it being in this. I have no qualm with Delfino. I maybe have some... I saw the Skyward Sword, like, tower thing, and initially was like, that's probably a legal stage. Then I saw people teching against the ceiling, and I was like, probably not.
Breath
you know what?
Wild.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, yeah. I always say fucking...
What?
I say the wrong Zelda every time.
Oh. Skyward Sword.
Yeah, all the time. I like Skyward Sword. If anyone would like to fight me about it, do so in the comments. I don't want to fight about it right now.
No. Let the time or place.
But yeah.
So those are your hopes. What are some of your hopes, Tim?
I hope that Snake's in the game.
Well, he is.
I'm good.
Tim's a simple man.
I'm a simple man.
I like the simple things.
I like Snake and I like Ness.
And fries and onion rings.
I hope that a bit more thought goes into how the game plays, because while I do see this as a bit of a sweet point, my tendencies do lie towards the competitive aspects of Smash Brothers. So I do like having options, like movement options, as a player of this fighting game, because it is a fighting game, because it is listed on the Wii U as a fighting game. So fight me. Oh wait, you can fight me in this fighting game. But I think it's a good thing.
Idiots like Jeff Thu shouldn't say otherwise.
Whatever. He's a. So yeah, it's it's good, and it's a good happy medium for competitive and casual play, which I really like, more so than Smash 4 was. I hope that you can do things like turn off stage hazards and futz with that, so that that's an option, because I think having the option to turn off stage hazards while keeping the stage build is a important and crucial thing.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
I'm gonna quickly respond to that, and then I'll go into my own hopes for it.
Yeah.
I do say it's possible that exists, because not only did they say the Omega and Battlefield versions, but during the Invitational they fought on Silphco N64.
Yeah.
Like that stage. No Pokemon came out of the thing, and the platforms that move up and down were frozen.
Whoa.
So that's either the stage isn't done and it's just in the build, which is possible, or there is a frozen stage. And the reason that might be true is that there are mods for frozen stages for NetPlay Melee and for Project M. I've seen some people with all the mods going around in Melee are like, hey, we should play on frozen Pokemon Stadium because there are literal wall infinites that characters can do on the transformations, which I think the dynamics are fun. However, random people investigating the GameCube code, right, the game's code, have managed to do that. So I'm sure that implementing something like that in a new game where you're building it from the ground up is probably really easy. And they might have realized that frozen stages are good. That also might be why Magic Hint doesn't have the flying man.
Oh, true.
That would be sick, and I hope it's true. Because if that is true, the number of stages that are good to play on competitively skyrockets. Here are some of my hopes for the game. It needs to have substantial single player, because it was lacking from Smash 4 in a huge way. And
break the targets.
Anyone who wanted to get into the game, had no way to do it except by playing people. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like, there was nothing to let you fuck around to get the characters. There was nothing to kind of teach you how to move in ways like break the targets are tutorials, board the platforms are tutorials. They teach you how to use the ins and outs of a character, especially in the classic games when they were individualized. And I know it would be a tall order to ask for that, but that's on my wish list too, because believe me, I feel like watching people speedrun the break the targets in this game, if there was individual ones for each character, would get really cool. I want a subspace. They're putting so much effort into these trailers, you know, like I want to see that much love put into a thing where all these characters get to interact, and there's so many more. I don't even care if like 20 of them don't show up in the subspace. Like whatever, I'm fine.
Yeah, just a single player to ease them in, because what was that called? Master Orders.
Master Orders, Crazy Orders was garbage.
What was the main thing?
It was still classic. It was just
yeah. The classic mode sucked because it first off it forced items on, which most classic modes do.
Yeah.
But for that it is exclusively fights.
Yes.
And also you can end up getting fucked over by the like RNG of it. Like, oh hey, like so this is a 8-player match while you are on teams, and like you have this slight against you, and it's like, cool, I didn't ask to get fucked like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like, it doesn't make it fun. It also doesn't teach you the game, and I feel like they thought that like, oh, that little tutorial at the beginning is like how we can teach people to play the game, and yes, it is helpful, but like you have to ease players into a like you have to have a legitimate tutorial to ease people in.
We only know Smash Brothers because we've grown up with it.
Exactly.
Yep. Having actually shown some people who've never touched a Smash game Smash before, you really forget how much you just intrinsically know because you played the game, because it's really hard to tell someone. Like, you start with it with, oh, your A buttons are some of your attacks, and then you have your specials in every direction. But also there's smash attacks. Also there's aerials. Also there's tilts. There's also your jab and your dash attack. You can also grab. Your grab does 4 throws. You have a full jump and a short hop. Also, there are ledge mechanics. They're different in every game. Here's how your shield works. You can jump out of it. Like,
yeah.
It just gets nuts. And I think that the thing to ease new people in would be good. Also, I think that this game is putting every legacy fighting game on blast, because Street Fighter V launched with a pitiful cast of characters.
It was decent. I thought it was decent.
How about you try that again and you tell me how you really feel when who was missing? Everyone you play?
No, because Rashid and Armika were there.
Rashid and Armika. Good things.
But Alex.
No Alex.
No Alex was there, but Alex was soon in sight.
No Alex. Guile wasn't in the game yet.
Oh, shit.
We were missing real characters that should not be missing from a Street Fighter game. Blanca just came out. Sakura just came out. Yeah. Sagat doesn't come out for a little bit more. Like,
T-Hawk is nowhere in sight.
Well, you know what? Maybe I love how he plays, you can wait on T-Hawk a little bit. He's one of those. He's a Street Fighter 2 weirdo. You know what I mean? Like he's loved.
What about E Honda? Huh?
E Honda.
E Honda is also a Street Fighter 2 weirdo.
Like so many things missing, and it's all because they rushed it out too early. Meanwhile, Smash Brothers is over here going, hey, you know that main complaint we've gotten every time we get a game where we edit out characters? What if we didn't do it anymore?
Just never.
What if
no one?
All your faves were here? What if everyone was here and all we have to tell you is, hey, don't expect as many newcomers because this game already has 65 characters.
Yep.
And you know what? They're still probably going to have 10 newcomers. Just saying it right
You
now.
really think 10 newcomers?
10 newcomers.
I don't know about that.
10 newcomers by the end of the game's lifespan. I think.
Okay. That's a good bet.
I think 5 of them will be. I think there will be 5 newcomers on the disc, and then at least 5 for DLC.
Wow.
Predictions.
They already have 1.
Right. There's already been
2.
Ridley.
Yep.
An Inkling.
An Inkling. So that's already 2 newcomers.
That's 2. Personal. Skull Kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get Shovel Knight in there.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight would be great.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I would love Banjo. Like Microsoft's even said, like, hey, you can do it if you want, but I think that Nintendo doesn't want to give them money.
So did you notice that even the non-Smash amiibo are going to be able to be used as figure players?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
When you actually tap amiibo that have multiple games associated with them, you can you fundamentally change it into an amiibo of that type.
Yeah.
So if an amiibo has save functions in Mario Party, for example, and you decide you want it to be a Smash amiibo, it has to delete whatever it has saved for Mario Party. It does blow, but amiibos are already magic learning machines that are tiny figures. Like, it's a lot to put on a base, I think, to be like, hey, you're a Mario amiibo and you can work in like 5 different games and 3 of them require you to learn things as you play. Let's talk about the in-depth shit of this one, because I know this podcast has been running for 2 hours here, I think, at this point. I'm
not gonna lie, folks. I'm almost spent.
I am too.
I just want to talk about the main, more advanced mechanics that they showed us and what it means for the game, and seeing some of the last hopes for that and like what we saw that we liked and was cool. Directional air dodges being back, really like it. They even show that, so they have no lag when you go into the ground with them, but they do have lag if you air dodge too high above the ground. So you don't go into helpless, but you don't get to act immediately. There's actually a section of the Invitational where Zero air dodges back to try and not die to something, and he's playing as Mario, and he doesn't have his double jump, and he's not able to make it back to stage because it has too much lag. So all of that I think is super interesting and going to be cool for how juggles work. I like the single directional air dodge that doesn't put you in helpless. I think that was a great thing to steal from Rivals of Aether. And if someone else does it better than you, just in game design, just take it.
Just take it, yeah.
Just take it. Just take it. If it's the correct answer, just take it.
Yep.
I think the parries
are weird.
Super interesting.
They're weird, and I want to know.
Perfect shield, you have to release the shield at the time when you were going to get hit.
Ooh.
And when we saw that, that's another aspect that's like a whole screen thing. It doesn't zoom in, but there's like a very slight freeze frame, and like the whole screen kind of flashes blue for a second, and the character's eyes change color and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
And seeing that in an actual match was nuts. Zero literally was so far ahead of someone in one of his matches that he was fishing for the parry.
You have to, in order to perfect shield, you have to do the perfect shield in half an hour press.
It just, that I think is a super interesting mechanic, and I think it'll lead to some hype fucking moments. And I think that there being almost no landing lag is super cool. We also got confirmed that you can do almost any action by someone who played it, you can do almost any action out of a dash. So like, when you're dashing, if you return the stick to neutral, you can do a smash attack, you can do tilts, you can... You're not locked into dash attack there. And that's super cool, because that's, again, something taken from Rivals of Aether, and it's I think the thing about that is that it's better for competitive because it makes it more deep, and it's better for casual play because I think one of the things that turns people off about the competitive side of Smash sometimes is that you learn how to move in Smash, and then there's all these weird rules you need to play around to do what you want to do, you know what I mean? Like, you have to know what you can do out of your turnaround animation. You need to know, like in Melee, you can't be in your turnaround animation and then jump and be facing the way you turned towards. You'll be towards your original thing. And in Brawl and Smash 4, you can do that, but you need to like time your turnaround to a certain way and jump out of it to not get stuck in it. So like, I think any barriers you remove on that end, like, I'm super happy there's no L canceling in this game and that everything just has no landing lag. Like, L canceling is just kind of extra inputs to hear the clickety clack. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. For real. It's when you L canceling doesn't need to be an issue if everything just like Link's down air, especially. I noticed like you stand up from that probably what, like 5 frames. You're good. Pretty good.
And then people don't have to avoid moves. Like, that's the worst, is when your character, even if your character's good, when your character just has, like, a really bad move you should never use, and you get stuck in a bunch of lag because of it.
Jigglypuff.
Right, but at least Jigglypuff has, like, a reward for hitting rest.
Well, no, I'm talking sleep. Or sing.
Sing does suck. Sing has sucked in every game.
Yeah.
Sing.
Just make the sleep radius bigger, but I don't know.
It's an unbalanceable move because if Jigglypuff's Sing is good, then Rest is broken. I'd rather Rest be good and Sing be a bad move.
Yeah, valid.
Other things I saw, looks like there's a dash dance window in this game that isn't like ridiculous. Can't confirm that, but
Zero's doing some fancy stuff.
I hope it's true because I think that that's great movement. A lot of subtle changes to characters that look super neat. We talked about Doc getting a spike on his down air. Mm-hmm. That looks super sick. D looks redesigned in a really cool way if it's doing what I think it is.
Yeah.
Being able to hold down the special button to just pick a Monado on Shulk by clicking a direction. Oh my god.
It's like, very good.
Half the barrier to looking really cool with Shulk fucking gone. Like
yeah, you can now just suddenly
do what you want. Like,
do what you need.
And Ridley looks amazing. Like his moveset looks super cool.
He looks a little I want to see how the down B works because it looks a little busted.
It does look a little busted. Sweet spotting and doing 50% and putting them in crumple, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot.
At the same time, he does look like he is the weight to be comboed by everyone all the time. Like,
especially Lucas.
Yeah, I'm excited to look at stuff in depth, but we can't really see for now.
Right, we don't have everything. What we saw, I think, is so much more. Just comparing it to, again, the Smash 4 Invitational, I feel like what we saw is so much more upfront good. Like, so much of everything. What wasn't cool was in the Smash Invitational, MKLeo did play Bayonetta, and Bayonetta was doing the same Bayonetta bullshit she was doing.
There were audible boos.
Yeah, there were literal boos in the crowd, and I totally understand why. And I feel like Benetti will not get to the release game with the same abilities.
Yeah. Probably not. Also, Plup was a buster the whole time.
Yep.
There was.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, the pick of players, the things they did, everything about it was super cool. I'm super pumped. I hate that the game is all the way in December, and they've been giving demo versions of everything, and I hope they do an online stress test for this. If they say, hey, jump on and do 1v1s for a weekend, like with Mario Tennis Aces.
And you have, like, 8 characters or something.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You're not going to sleep?
I don't think I'll do anything else. Like, I believe I'll be playing. And, you know what it'll be? It'll, right from the beginning, this Smash Brothers will be bought on the game console it's actually going to be played on. No buying a $40 demo for anybody.
Oh my fucking god. I fucking hate the 3DS version of Smash so much. I want it to die. I want my $40 back.
It was the most expensive demo I've ever bought.
It's not even a demo. It was just like a shitty version of the game. It was just like shit.
I think that it's kind of a thing with kind of like how I never felt burned about my Wii U purchase until I owned a Switch.
Yep.
And the Switch was so much better from the very beginning that I just kind of went, oh shit. It's very... Smash 4 was better than the overall experience with Brawl. It was a better competitive game. So it didn't feel like... I didn't feel that burned by it.
Yeah.
But I feel like after seeing Smash Bros. Ultimate, we might all be able to say that Smash 4 ends up being a lesser entry in the series.
Probably.
Given that it just missed... It lacks some of the... Because, yeah, Brawl wasn't the greatest competitive game, but it also brought us the subspace, and it brought a bunch of new mechanics to the overall physics of it. Like, that's the first game water was real.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game where, like, characters started doing a lot more... like, the character archetypes got opened up even more, you know what I mean? And Smash 4 will be remembered as the thing that made it a little more competitive and started making movesets that had so much love and care put into them with their specificity. And Smash Ultimate for polish.
Yeah.
At least we can hope. So, I think that's all I've got. There's honestly a fairly high chance that I make a video to come out after this that's some analysis of some very specific things going on in that. So I think I might leave some more of my Smash ranting for when I have some clips in front of everyone watching right now to demonstrate what I'm talking about. And overall, I gotta say, Nintendo did not have the best E3 presentation, but they did have 22 minutes of Smash and then a whole tournament.
Yeah.
So for me, as a personal human being, Nintendo wins E3 because they showed me a Smash game that looks like it's going to be amazing.
I need to mod this Smash.
With the runner-up being strangely Microsoft, even though I usually don't care, but I just can't sleep on their conference that hard.
They pulled out every stop, and honestly, it proved to be good. I don't like the concept of winning, quote unquote things, because it's usually a pretty toxic thing.
Yeah.
But like Microsoft definitely had probably the strongest conference this year.
But you know what? Microsoft kind of needed it.
Yeah. No, they did.
They did get eviscerated. Like
they legitimately have the most powerful console on the market that like does the most, but they don't have the games to back it up.
And the interface is kind of broken.
Yeah.
And they certainly didn't have the marketing at the beginning.
No.
It's a miracle that the Xbone has revived as much as it has.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people like getting into them now, and I'm like, cool.
Everyone, I mean, it made sense to have the stigma that it had. You know what I mean? Any other thoughts on E3, or are we wrapped up here?
Square Enix wins because they gave a release date for Kingdom Hearts 3 at all, and they gave and they're still going strong with a reasonable release date for Octopath Traveler. It's the game that Square Enix has the game that I am most excited for that is coming out the soonest. So it's a thumbs up for me.
I want to say Sony, but we only honestly just got 2, release dates, which was for Resident Evil 2, and then Kingdom Hearts is lumped in there as well. You have no clue on Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't know. I honestly was kind of a fan of their presentation just because they had those 2 music preludes to each game, which I thought was it was something different.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think personally, I would have to give it to that. I can tell you, not going to EA.
No. No. Oh, you know what was weird? One other thing that's completely random. No, nothing from the people who made Horizon Zero Dawn saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Like, what was up with that?
They're waiting.
They're waiting. Yeah. They had a really big game in
Yeah.
2017, and then they released their DLC for it.
Yeah.
I know the DLC is there. I was just thinking, like...
It feels like something you would get... I mean, if Bethesda's going to give us as vague a thing as Elder Scrolls 6 exists...
Yeah, I'd be surprised that Horizon 2 doesn't exist.
I think probably with Horizon 2, they're going to want to, like, actually have some material for it.
That's true. Because what made people care about Horizon the first time, when the very first time we
setting.
saw it, was fighting robot dinosaurs. Yeah, I think... Also, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, I haven't played it yet, but I haven't played it yet because it came out around the same time as Breath of the Wild, and I owned a Switch, and Zelda's going to take precedence. And let me tell you, after beating Breath of the Wild, the idea of playing another game which is similar in scope did not appeal to me at all.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting to the point where I have enough space for a game that big again. Yeah, I feel like we don't hear anything from them because they're actually people worth trusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like they're quiet because they don't have anything yet. They can wait.
Yep.
It's crazy. But yeah, I think that's it. So those were some rambling thoughts about E3, and this is Carney Pop signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.